if you were going to give Bannon credit for anything, he hates Elon Musk. And I'll tell you one other thing about Bannon that most people don't know. When he was a younger person, he was a naval officer. And that will rankle Steve Bannon. He will use that to beat the living crap out of Elon Musk. And Bannon has a following over that. It's not us going on our podcast and talking to all of the other educated, left-leaning people that agree with us. He's going right at the base and going right after Elon Musk. So I'm gonna let Bro Bannon handle this one. I think he's got it in his sights.
Hey, James, the Trump administration is hailing a couple what they call big victories this week. They got Ukraine to agree to a 30-day ceasefire, and now they say they're pressuring Putin to do the same thing. And the House, on a partisan basis, passed a 6-month funding bill to avoid a government shutdown. And the fear that I am channeling, former Vice President and convicted criminal Spiro T. Agnew, I may be a nattering nabob of negativism. I think these victories are vastly overstated. For the budget extension, people don't understand. This doesn't deal with any of the big issues. This doesn't deal with Medicaid or tax cuts for the rich. It does have some bad things in it. It cuts money for mental health facilities. It cuts money for public defenders. It slashes a lot of money out of D.C. It's going to be very hard for the city. But mainly, it just is a continuing resolution. The big stuff will come up later. And on Ukraine, they're now going to say, we're going to get Putin to agree to this. Vladimir Putin, if a despicable autocrat, is shrewd, and he knows that Trump desperately wants some kind of a peace resolution to claim that he did it and put in for a Nobel Prize. When he has Trump in this position, the President of the United States really is a useful idiot for the Russian dictator. And I must say that whatever they get done, I think Putin is going to come out a winner, and I hate to say that.
Well, all right, let's go back a little bit and what our friend Ann Applebaum told us, that Ukraine is in a lot better position than people think. They have technology, they have weapons built up. 2 days ago, there was a story in the New York Times that basically Ukraine was kicking the crap out of the Russians, that they were having manpower issues, they couldn't advance, they're having horrible economic problems. My suspicion is that Putin needs a 30-day ceasefire. He's got to regroup. He's getting the shit kicked out of him. And he instructed Trump through his cutouts to propose a ceasefire. So that way, you look good, you look like a peacemaker. I got to get 30 days. I got to figure out what to do because I'm getting the crap kicked out of me. And I think that's the most logical explanation is. And again, you can see the Times had a long story, and they quoted the Institute for the Study of War, this General Petraeus, this thing. They follow this thing very closely. And my great suspicion is Trump is doing Putin a favor by asking for that ceasefire.
I think you're right.
I mean, it's just like, it's unbelievable. You have to read the Senate Intelligence Committee report about Trump and Russia. I mean, it's not even a question, is Trump connected to Russia? It's been look at what even Mueller said. I mean, the Russian-U.S. contacts, entanglements, everything is just breathtaking. And we even voted with them in Belarus and North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
What explains that? Well, why are we doing Putin's bidding by trying to get a ceasefire when Putin's getting the shit kicked out of it? I think that this all points to the fact that they're just total tools of the Kremlin.
Well, the guy who is dealing with Putin is a real estate pal of Trump's named Steve Witkoff. And I want to tell you, when you want to put a real estate operator from New York together against Vladimir Putin, I fear I know how I'm going to bet. And I think that's...
They're not Putin is telling him what to do.
Right. Right.
They're not
Right.
negotiating.
Right.
I need 30 days, bro. I got to get a breather. I got to get my shit together. It's not going well.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they don't know how to conscript people. They try not to do it in the urban areas because, you know, you don't want to piss off educated people in Russia, and they're running out of cannon fodder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, as I call it, the 12th Cannon Fodder Brigade of the Russian Army.
Yep. Yep.
Read that time story.
Will do. Okay. The only other thing I think we want to discuss is, because Elizabeth covered so much good stuff, is Elon Musk. Again, a lot of friction. People don't like him. There's only one person that really matters, and that's Donald Trump. And he appears to have Donald Trump. I couldn't believe, now that his stock has gone down, they're out in the White House grounds hawking his Tesla. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let's get Elon's stock back up. But James, what really hit me this week, that Musk, a immigrant from South Africa, I am for immigrants, as you know. I don't think he's ever seen a day in the military in his life. He called Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, a combat veteran, a NASA astronaut. He called Mark Kelly, quote, a traitor, end quote. Now, in America, if you're a traitor, you should be subject to execution, right? And so what did Donald Trump do or say? He hawked his Tesla in the front of the White House. I mean, this is deplorable stuff.
Well, I saw what Musk said about Senator Kelly. And there is one person that's going to handle this, and handle it this person will. The ever odious Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon actually has, for whatever it is, I think it's a riff, but he has this kind of ethno-nationalist, anti-globalist, kind of view of the world. And if you were going to give Bannon credit for anything, and I would be reluctant to, I'd say he's been pretty consistent in that. He hates Elon Musk. And I'll tell you one other thing about Bannon that most people don't know. When he was a younger person, he was a naval officer. And that will rankle Steve Bannon. He will use that to beat the living crap out of Elon Musk. And Bannon has a following over that. It's not us going on our podcast and talking to all of the other educated, left-leaning people that agree with us. He's going right at the base and going right after Elon Musk. So I'm gonna let Bro Bannon handle this one. I think he's got it in his sights.
I think I agree with you. Even though James, he shamelessly stole your name for his podcast and never has ponied up or apologized. But in any event,
I agree. He thought of something else.
Well, we have lots to follow this week. Every week, as we said, as James said, it's like a fire hose. So we'll keep following it.
We should call ourselves the Genuine Raw Rum. No pretenders here. It's the real thing.